Hey guys, Jason with OMG here with a little video for you about what happens during the tune-up process here at OMG. What you're seeing on screen is I'm actually starting the auto tune-up process. This gets ran by the session traffic controller as soon as the session comes into his hands. It will give it a second to install here and I'll go over what it does exactly. And as I said, this is all automatic once they hit start. The very first thing it's going to do is verify the service pack, just checking to make sure that the operating system installed has the newest service pack or collection of updates. It'll create a restore point so we can always go back. It's going to check Windows updates to see if there are some critical updates that we need to install. It's going to do a check disk scan just to verify the file system. It's going to set the page file or the virtual memory and kind of speed this computer up. It's going to do a system file checker scan, check the system files, make sure that they're all in good condition. It's going to disable drive indexing, make everything go a little faster with searches. It's also going to back up the registry and reset the browsers. This is all automatic. Once they hit start, it's all unattended. As a matter of fact, touching it here could mess things up. Now, this can take a minute to run, so we'll go ahead and let that run through and come back. Okay. Now you guys can see we're still running this SFC scan here, the system file checker scan, just completed. And now we're going to disable drive indexing. Now what you're seeing on screen here, you're going to see a lot of boxes open up and settings get chosen. However, it's not actually I'm not doing that. That is all automated. That being said, if you go ahead and start clicking on things here while this is going on, it will mess up the whole process. It's critical during the auto tune that no one, including the customer, doesn't click on anything. Now, of course, that does happen sometimes, and we may have to restart the auto tune process, but that's what's happening here. And clicking on things can mess it up. As you can see on the screen here, it's just running through the final few steps. And there we go. The auto tune is complete. We got green checks on everything, so we know we're good to go. Now this would sit there until a technician would pick it up. That's what would normally happen. You can also check all of these things after they've been ran to see what exactly came of the scan. As you can see here, we're checking to see on the updates. Well, according to this, 24 updates do need to be installed on this system. They are critical or security updates. We can click on the check this part here, and it'll tell us if it found any issues, which it did not. You can also do this with the SFC scan too. Same concept. It's going to tell us if it found any problems. I'm just going to go right ahead and roll into the tech tools here so you guys can get a look at exactly what it is in the toolkit and how we go about and do the tune-up. Click this. There's the download progress bar. Customer name and phone number. I'll just go ahead and put in my information here. And you can see the toolkit here gathering some basic information about the computer. You'll even see a box pop up with some more info that it's gathering. Okay, and there we go. All technicians have their own unique login, so I'll just log in with mine here. And there we go. That's the 13-step tune-up we do right there. There is other tabs, of course, but we're only going to focus on the tune-up part of it here. So the very first part is to check the restore point. Make sure that the auto tune-up actually did create one. As you can see here, you got to match up the date and time together. The auto tune-up did successfully create one, so I can go ahead and keep going. If it hadn't, I would create one there, but it did. This next one is Get PC Info. This is some information about the computer. This is going to go into the 5.9 notes in the end. That way we'll always have that information. Next, we got the OMG PC Fix. This is a tool developed here by our toolkit developer. And basically what it's doing is looking at the computer, seeing what's installed on that computer, and it's comparing it to what we here at OMG know to be malware. We know it's malware, so it's going to be bad. You can also change the home page, which I'm going to set to yahoo.com here. And you'll see there's a couple of services that or tasks that we're going to go ahead and kill just by clicking on the one there. And boom, it's done. Pretty simple. Next, we have malware programs here. Now, all of these will need to be uninstalled. Now, that can take a minute, especially if it's a list longer than this one. This is only 6 programs, so it shouldn't take too long. But this is something to bear in mind. You know, this is why a technician will be on a customer's computer for hours at a time, because this can take a while, as well as especially like Windows updates we'll talk about later. That can be very time consuming. So you'll see here actually that this is going to take a couple minutes to run through and do all of this. Once a program like these uninstalls, it usually puts up a web page in the browser too, just asking that we're sorry to see you go. Here's an uninstall confirmation page, etc. Just like this one. So usually you're going to want to wait for this to pop up. You don't want to get too many things going on our customers' computers at one time because naturally they usually need a tune-up. They need some form of tech support, and it's a good way to slow things down. Once I clicked OK to continue, it'll just automatically roll on to the next uninstaller and the next uninstaller like that until they're all gone. So we'll just go ahead and keep on doing that. And it's asking for a restart here. I'm not going to do that though. There's a step within the tune-up process to do a restart, so I'll just wait for that step. Okay, now we're into suspicious folders and files. Gonna take a quick look through here just to make sure there's nothing that we don't want to delete. But once again, it did get confirmed against the OMG hit list that it's all bad. Go ahead and clean. Boom, done. Now there are those 2 remaining there. Sometimes that'll happen because I need to reboot still. So we'll wait and see what happens there. Here's the registry items. Now once again, this has all been confirmed to be malware, so you don't have to go ahead and research every one of these. Just go ahead and know that they are malware. It's been confirmed by OMG analysts. So you can just go ahead and clean the registry here. Check the browsers. Ask Web Search and Video Download Converter. Those can go. Done. And now I'll do a rescan here. See if those 2 are still there. No, they are still there. Let's try to clean again. No, they're not going to go away. More likely than not, I'm just going to have to restart the system and get rid of those 2. Not a big deal. Let's go ahead and check the OMG uninstaller. I just want to verify that there aren't any programs in there that should come out, but they might not be on the OMG hit list. But they all look okay. We got Optimizer Pro and PC Health Boost. Those are 2 affiliates, which you never would see 2 affiliates on the same machine. But regardless, those are okay. Check the regular uninstaller. Make sure that there's not any in there either. Sometimes they might show up a little different, but they look the same now. So we'll go ahead and do the OMG startup check. As you can see, there is instructions here on how to go ahead and clean out malware and what we want to do during the tune-up process. So I'm going to go ahead and click Task Scheduler first. And then all the technician really needs to do is follow the instructions here on the left. We're looking for toolbars, browser helper objects, updaters, and of course malware. Here in this scheduled task, we have two updaters, Google Updates. Both of those can get disabled. We're not going to delete them because it's not like Google's bad. We're just going to go ahead and disable it. And then the three below are for PC Health Boost, which is our affiliate, so I'm going to leave those where they are. Now the same rules are going to apply for MSConfig here as well. Just looking for toolbars, browser helper objects, updaters, and of course malware. Couple updaters here, that's okay. Now there we got some malware on this one. There's another updater right there, Java, and then two more malware items here at the bottom. Now, some people might be tempted to turn off Skype or Adobe Reader. If it was my computer at home, I probably would, or Optimizer Pro. But just remember, it's not your computer. Unless the customer requested it, don't turn that off. It will throw them off. They, are used to things being a certain way. Gonna exit without restart here. And that's it for startup check. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and check the browsers here. And as you can see, there are instructions again. So let's go ahead and pull up IE. We're just looking for malware in here now. Looking in the add-ons, see if there's any malware. Of course, we're going to check the search settings as well and the home page. Looks like it's opening right up to Yahoo as I wanted, so that's great. Okay, that's just saying it's a problem. That was probably caused by malware, so we can go ahead and take that out. Check the add-ons here. All those look fine. Check some more here, the run without permission ones. Now there is Google Updates here, but we don't turn those off on the browser, just in the startup options, scheduled tasks and MSConfig. So those are okay. The customer wanted Bing as their default, so I'll leave it. If they wanted Google, we'd change it to Google, but they did want Bing, so we'll leave it as is. And that's it for IE. I just checked it. So now we move right on to Firefox. Now bear in mind too, guys, that a lot of this was done on the step 3 on the OMG PC fix. It's a pretty thorough tool. It got a lot of that malware that was in the browser out for us already. So that was a huge step. And once again, Firefox opened up right to Yahoo. That's a good sign. We'll go ahead and move Bing to the top here. It's not actually going to set it as the default, but that's okay. We'll go back and do that in a second. Check the add-ons, no extensions. That's a good sign. Plugins, nothing malicious, and there's nothing in services. So Firefox is pretty clean. Let's just go ahead and we'll set this to Bing. There we go. And that's it for Firefox. That one's good to go. And I'll just move right on to Chrome here. Once again, instructions there. They are different for each browser, but not much. In the end, we're still looking for the add-ons and extensions to find malicious items. Give Chrome a second to pop up. We're going to go ahead and set Chrome as the default here. We'll do that in a minute. Check the go to settings. And we're going to check everything, make sure it's all correct. First thing, make sure the home page is right. That's what we want, yahoo.com. Now they have conduit and search engines. That's a problem. We can't change it right now because it's default. So we'll go ahead and make Bing the default, and then we can go ahead and take out the conduit. You're not able, there's some sweet tunes, we're going to take that out too. You can't change the default search provider until you make something else the default. Everything looks good here in extensions. We'll go ahead and go to plugins. Look through the list. I don't see any malware in there. Everything looks legitimate. So we're good there. And that's it. That's actually all done there. Now the customer will either have their own AV or they would be getting the OMG antivirus. One of those two options. As you can see here, this customer has Security Essentials and it hasn't been ran for a while, so we'll go ahead and run a scan of that. That would be a customer provided option. We'll let this go. There we go. Skip to the end. I just cut 11 minutes off this video time there, guys. Normally that scan would take quite a while, as you can see on the time there. And it was all finished now. Didn't find any malicious items, so we can go ahead and move on. Now that was a customer provided instance. Now we would do that if it was Norton, McAfee, whatever AV they have. If they did get OMG AV, you'll see we just click this link. It's going to actually download and install the OMG AV all in the background there. Next thing that'll happen is it'll pop up and gives me the option to start a scan. It can take a minute, so give it a second. It depends on the customer's computer. There's the logo splash screen. There's the icon just appeared on the desktop. And there we go, popped right up. Oh, and you can see it's automatically going to go into scan. I'm going to cancel this. And the reason is I don't have a key. We're not going to use a key to register this software just for this video, but that is what we would do. We will let it go ahead and do a scan and register it, make sure it's working. Now, once that's done, we've actually moved on to the restart step, the one that I was referring to. So we'll go ahead and restart this computer. We kind of lock in the malware removal and the changes that we've made at startup. I'm going to go ahead and skip forward a little bit for you guys because this can take a little bit of time to do a restart. Okay, here we go. Windows coming back to us here. We'll give it a second to start up. And there we go, back to the desktop again. Okay. Looks like the system's stabilized. I'll go ahead and double click this toolkit icon. Oh, there's our affiliate box. Let me go ahead and close that. Now it could take a minute for this to load up. You know, the computer did just get turned on and I already requested the toolkit, so it can take a second to load up. If you guys are experiencing some kind of delay, it's not abnormal. The computer just started. There's my toolkit. Go ahead and click yes. Okay, and there's our toolkit. I'll go ahead and log in here. Computer must still be booting up because this is taking a little bit of a second. Oh, there we go. And there we go. And as you can see, the green dots indicate where I left off at. So just go right on to browser test. This is just to verify that all these websites are working, appear normal, everything is running correctly on them. And as you can see, we do hit all three browsers, as well as we're going to end with a speed test at the end. As you can see, also there was instructions on that box. In a second here, they'll pull back up again, and we'll take a look. And there we go. MSN popped right up. Go down to the bottom here, make sure everything looks right. Yep, everything looks good there. That's all we were doing. Go ahead and keep on going. On to YouTube, which of course we're checking their flash to make sure that they are able to play videos. Now that did look like it took a while to load, but bear in mind, guys, that could be the customer's internet connection, could be a lot of reasons. It looks like it's going to play here. Yep, there we go. Now that's just an ad, but regardless, it still operates on the same technology. Go ahead and move this OMG AV out of the way. It still operates on Flash, so we know we're good to go there. And finally for IE, we'll go ahead and end on Yahoo, the home page, which we already looked at when we checked the home page. It did load up just fine, but we'll go ahead and double check it. We did do a restart since then. Everything looks pretty normal on this page. Yeah, let's go down a little bit. Yep, those images loaded in. So yeah, this one looks good to go. And that's it for IE. We're just going to go ahead and move on to Firefox. And all we have to do here as a technician is just double click these links. It'll automatically open up that browser and to the web page that we're clicking on. Once again, there's MSN, looks fine. Go ahead and close this. Don't want it to keep asking that question, so I'm going to uncheck that. Now you see it did prompt me to install Flash, but it looks like Flash is playing fine. That ad played fine. You know, a good rule of thumb here at OMG that we go by is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I could go ahead and update that Flash and then it wouldn't work anymore. So as long as they're able to play the videos, we're good to go. And I actually set that to not ask again. Yahoo looks fine. Customers requested homepage. We'll just move right on to Chrome here. They do want this set as their default, so let me go ahead and do that now. And once again, MSN looks good, looks perfect. Couple delays. System looks like it might be running a little slow. Once again, that's not necessarily because of us. Could be overheating, could be their internet connection, could be a lot of things. Yeah, looking at this on the screen, if I had to guess though, I don't believe their system is overheating. I would guess that this is more likely than not an internet connection speed problem. Because it loads, it just takes a long time to do it. And there we go. That video played fine on YouTube, so Chrome's good there. And finally, we're just going to go ahead and check their home page, which we know did come up earlier just fine, but we'll check it one more time. Okay, there we go. Everything loaded normal there, so we're good on that. Finally, we just got to do a speed test. Now, we would go ahead and do this speed test and then record the information into the customer's notes in Five9 and in LogMeIn, just telling us and the customer how fast their internet was running after we were finished. You can see that customer's download speed is actually very high. So apparently those videos load in pretty slow. If I had to guess, since the download speed is so high, then it's probably hardware related, meaning that they probably need to upgrade their RAM or processor or something like that. So either a tier 1 tech or an escalated technician or team lead even would go ahead and look at that and see if that's what we would recommend. Now this ping, this download speed, and this upload speed, all of that information is going to get copied over into the notes. But once it's done, that's it for that. So we can go ahead and close this down. And then as you can see, we've done everything on this box. So we can go ahead and close that down as well. Now the next step is the affiliate check. When you click this, you see it pulls up a whole list of our affiliates, and if I double click any of these, it will open the page and download it. We've already got one on here, PC Health Boost, so we'll go ahead and pull this up. Now normally a technician is going to check this to make sure it's registered and activated, that it's fully functioning by running a full scan on it, and then also making sure that they set it to not run at startup. Even though it's our affiliate, we want the software to work and be registered and everything like that, but we don't need it to run at startup every time the customer turns their computer on. As you can see, it's already set to not run at startup, which is what we want. Normally, like I said, I would run through a scan and register the software if it wasn't, but since we're doing this for training, we're going to save time and just go ahead and skip that. Same thing with the Total AV there. I'd also verify that that was installed and working as well. Once that was done, now we go to the check for updates step. Now this one can be pretty time consuming in particular. It's got to check for updates and then go ahead and install them. It can take a long time. Yeah, and because of that, I'm going to go ahead and skip forward ahead in this video here, guys. And to right about here. They should come up pretty quick. In reality, about 5 or 10 minutes has gone past, but you guys won't tell. You won't be able to see that. I'm just skipping forward so we can save time here. This is where I'm going to go ahead and check through the updates. Go ahead and install the critical and security ones. There is an update for Security Essentials there. I'm going to go ahead and install that because that is the AV that the customer is using. However, if you're ever unsure about any of this, don't hesitate to ask a team lead or someone who could answer the question more appropriately. Now that is an optional update. We would go ahead and hide those. We hide almost all optional updates. If you're ever unsure, you would go ahead and ask. But once again, this is an update for Security Essentials. I'm going to go ahead and install that. Okay, now as you can see, we're downloading 34 updates. It's gonna download the 34 updates, install them, and then no doubt have to do a reboot. And this is one of the steps during the tune-up process that does take the longest. We can't make this really go any faster. Windows is gonna update as fast as it can. We've already ran through a lot of tune-up steps as well, so the malware should be gone. I mean, ideally, this is as fast as it's gonna go. Because of the amount of time that it takes, I'm going to go ahead and skip forward again here. You guys don't have to watch this whole thing. There we go. You can see it's installing update 1 of 34. So we'll go ahead and let these install, and when it's done, I'll go ahead and come back to you guys then. Okay, there we go. A little bit of time has passed by, like I said. It's been about 30 minutes probably, give or take. But the updates did go through, so now it's prompting for a restart. Once again, we're going to go ahead and skip that part of it. I'll do the restart here, and you guys will see some of it, but we're going to go ahead and skip ahead because that can take quite a bit of time. Logging off. Here's Windows. It's getting ready to install these updates. There we go, preparing to configure Windows. Like I said, this can take some time, so we'll go ahead and cut away and come back again when the computer has restarted. Okay, the reboot happened. We're coming back up here again. Now, it still possibly will go through some update steps. We'll go ahead and just skip through those. But just know, guys, that it can take a long time. There they are right there. I'm going to skip through these too. It can take a minute for these updates to actually install. So we'll just skip ahead and go straight to the desktop here. And there we go, back to the desktop. Now, I'll get this OMG AV out of the way here. If this was registered, it's unlikely that would be as much of an issue, but we'll go ahead and just move it out of the way. Pull up the toolkit. Say yes. And I'm going to have to do my login here quick. Okay, toolkit's up. Now I'm going to go ahead and check for updates again, and the reason being is because some updates won't go through until some have been installed before it. So I'm going to go ahead and do another check for updates quick here. Once again, like I said, this can be a time-consuming process. I'm pretty thorough on it, so I'm not going to make you guys wait. We'll go ahead and pull up the check for updates, let it do its check, and we'll see what it comes up with. Okay, two important updates it says are available, so I'm going to go ahead and review these and see how critical they are. Okay, you can see an update for Silverlight, not a big deal, so we'll go ahead and hide that one. Internet Explorer 11, honestly, IE 11 has been prone to problems, so unless they're requesting the update, I just assume leave it as it is. Now we got the Action Center, which essentially is this little flag in the corner. Something about Windows backup here. We'll go ahead and just shut that off. We don't really need that to be there. So did we clear all the problems in the Action Center? Yes. And as you can see, we're actually at work complete now. I'll go ahead and click it. You'll see the session log right here. This is the log. It has my technician name, the time, as well as all the things that I took out. Now, what an OMG technician would do, they would take these notes, which you can even see shows all the malware we took out, everything's recorded. So we would go ahead and select all of this, and then go ahead and copy it into the notes template. Using this method, that way we keep everybody looking at the same format all the time, everyone knows where to look. Now, once you hit work complete on the toolkit, not only does it put up that session log, but once you close the session log, it's going to hide hidden folders, delete the toolkit, launch the under construction page. A lot of things happen actually when we hit the work complete there. So we'll give it a moment here, and you should see that the survey page is going to go ahead and pull up for our customers to fill out. Now, it is pretty standard practice for the technician to go in and fill in part of that, not just their own name, but also the customer's name, email, their email address, stuff like that. There's the thank you page, so we'll give it a second to pull up here. And there we go. Now usually this would be off on the right side. Perhaps the page was updated, or maybe the resolution is too low. Regardless, it's down here at the bottom, so I'm just going to go ahead and fill in this information. There is a technician ID spot, but we don't actually have a tech ID, so don't have to worry about that. I'll put in the customer name, their phone number, as well as their email address. Now, the stuff from this below, of course, is for the customer to fill out. You know, did we actually fix their issue? And put in some more comments. Once I got this part filled out, I have completed the actual tune-up, the OMG tune-up. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll up so that the customer can see that this tune-up was complete and leave that on their screen. I minimized it really quick there. You would check the desktop, you know, maybe delete those icons, anything that's not supposed to be there. But in the end, we're going to leave this right on the screen so they can see it. Okay, guys, I'm Jason from OMG, and that is the OMG tune-up. Thanks for watching.